Hi, my name is Colin and I'm a teacher at PS 364, the Earth School. I want to begin by saying that we're at a critical moment for the public teaching profession in the state of New York. The administration of Governor Cuomo can choose to fully involve teachers in the development of sound education policy, or continue to lead us down a path that will outsource our work and degrade our profession. Prior to the English Language Arts test, two colleagues and I wrote a letter to Chancellor Carmen Farina, imploring her to show leadership at this critical moment for public education. As an act of conscience, we informed her that we would be declining the role of test administrators for the 2014 school year. We believe that schools have the creative capacity and the expertise to develop quality assessment. We believe that teachers in schools are best evaluated through human contact, through the constructive feedback of peers and education professionals. Some schools use collectively designed performance-based assessment tasks, portfolio-based assessments, roundtable presentations of student work to a panel of judges, or various long-term interdisciplinary assessments to measure students' strengths, weaknesses, and growth. Schools that use these methods of assessment typically point to their flexibility, authenticity, and real-world applicability, and to the high level of student and community buy-in and engagement they elicit as benefits. These types of assessments are particularly valuable in more accurately assessing English language learners, students with disabilities, and students with test anxiety. It is through flexibility in assessment and our strong relationships with students that we come to know them as learners. Somewhere in the dialogue of public education, we have lost track of the humanizing nature of our profession. That relationships matter and that quality time between adults and children does something so profound that it cannot be captured by bubble sheets or the unrefined statistical algorithms of outsiders looking in. As of late, more and more teachers have acted on their conscience and have voiced dissatisfaction with this year's tests and the state of education policy. Leah Brunsky teaches 3rd grade at PS 29 in Brooklyn, and she called the 2014 Common Core test developmentally inappropriate exams that neither reflect the teaching and learning in my classroom nor allow me to better understand my students. Teachers at PS 29 wrote a resolution on testing in which they concluded, across the grades, we feel with great certainty that the rise of standardized tests, and most specifically its high-stakes nature, has eroded real student learning time, narrowed the curriculum, and jeopardized the rich, meaningful education our students need and deserve. Some educators had voiced their disappointment in the poor quality of the tests. They had hoped, they wrote, that the tests would be improved. I do not share my colleagues' optimism. We should not be surprised at the mishandling of tests by a for-profit company so divorced from the experiences of teaching and learning. Pearson has a long history of mistakes not just in New York, but across the country. Poorly designed tests are not the problem. They are the symptom. They are the symptom of policies pursued by Governor Cuomo that place business interests above the interests of children. The architects of Common Core saw an opportunity to standardize a new market for the benefit of private industry. In 2009, Bill Gates, whose foundation funded the bulk of Common Core, delivered an address to the Conference for State Legislators. He said, and I quote, "When the tests are aligned to the common standards, the curriculum will line up as well, and that will unleash powerful market forces in the service of better teaching. For the first time, there will be a large base of customers," I repeat, customers, "eager to buy products that can help every kid learn and every teacher get better." On May 4th, the governor will act as honorary chair of Camp Philos, a retreat at the Whiteface Lodge in Lake Placid. It is billed as 3 spring days, I quote, 3 spring days of fun fellowship and strategy with the nation's thought leaders on education reform. His guest of honor will be Joe Williams, who is the executive director of the Political Action Committee, Education Reform Now, whose Wall Street members have donated generously to Governor Cuomo over the years. These are his thought leaders on education reform, capital managers and business entrepreneurs. Would Governor Cuomo be so bold as to call hedge fund managers the thought leaders for reforming police departments, or seek their advice for instructing firefighters on new techniques for fire rescue?
Exactly.
We need to send a clear message to Governor Cuomo that public education dollars are not to be treated like stock options, to be cashed in for campaign contributions.
Yay!
Governor Cuomo needs to cease using Wall Street as his personal education advisors. Since many of these reforms began by calling for a need for greater accountability, it is now time to hold Governor Cuomo and so-called education reformers accountable to their constituents and the stakeholders of education. Thank you.
Yeah!